It's Sunstreaker from the Bumblebee movie concept art. This is the Studio Series 111, and yes, we have this toy that apparently Sunstreaker did not appear in the movie, which is unfortunate, but there were a lot of bots that didn't appear in the movie. But I'm going to go through this and see if this is a cool Cybertronian version of Sunstreaker, and if maybe, perchance, you might want it in your collection. Be right back. So I haven't even broken this out of the package, so hopefully once I do, it won't prove to be too crazy. But I mean, it is nice packaging. It is windowless, so people can touch this, but I received this through the mail, so I don't think too many people were playing with my Sunstreaker before I got him. But there he is out of the package, and like many of the Studio series, he has a little backdrop. Looks like Cybertron. Who knows, you might stick him in there. And like a lot of toys, he's got this shitty piece of paper, which we're gonna get rid of. And he's got instructions. And just taking a look at him, he looks interesting. I hope these fold away, because they look kind of weird sticking out of his legs like that. But let's pop him out of this cardboard and plastic strap prison. I do find it interesting that they decided to no longer use the paper ties. It's easier for me, but is it better for the environment? I don't know. So there he is in his robot mode. Let's get a little closer of a look. There he is. And of course he made a mess on my table. And he comes with two weapons, which should fit quite nicely into his hands. So he can be like, say hello to my little friends. I don't know that he's watched any Earth movies so that he would actually say that. Nice box. All right, so let's take a look at this guy. So he does look very Sunstreaker-like. His head is very Sunstreaker-shaped. His body is yellow, which, you know, that's Sunstreaker's color. And he even has like the windshield on his chest, which is kind of Sunstreaker's thing as well. And he does have these two weapons that are almost identical, except they're mirrored a little bit. Oops, stay. Because if you want, apparently you can plug them together and attach them to his back for weapon storage. And it actually looks like a jetpack as well, so that's kind of a neat double use of these things. But yeah, he's not too kibbly. You can see some futuristic wheels on the sides here, on the back of his legs that aren't quite covered. So he seems a pretty well set up robot. He's got shoulder pads, of course, you know, Bumblebee takes place in the 80s, so totally makes sense. And yeah, a nice looking figure. Again, a good homage and good concept art of Sunstreaker. All right, let's take a look at the posability. Now, he does appear to have some ankle tilts, so you can put him in a nice wide stance, and you can be like, stay away from my brother! I don't think Sideswipe was even in that scene. I have to admit, I haven't seen that scene in a while. Been a while since I've seen Bumblebee, so I know Brawn was there and Wheeljack and RC, but I don't recall everybody who was there. So he's got that going for him. Now let's see if he can, and it looks like he might be able to. He can do a full Jean-Claude Van Damme pretty much, though the kibble on the back of his legs makes it so that he would flop forward, so he would need to hold himself with his hands. So that's kind of meh. He can kick forward, not too high, but it's a good 90-degree kick. Kicking backwards, he almost can kick a little bit higher backwards. And of course, he can do a side kick. Does he have knees? Yes, he has knees. Bends at the knee, actually has this little sharpened point on the end of his knee, so he can really get in there and scrape out some Decepticon nards. So pretty good posability with the legs. And he does actually twist at the waist. His waist is a little high, but still, it's very nice, very nice. The arms here can go all the way around, so that is nice as well. I can already see he can bend at the elbow. Now, he's got a little bit of a swivel here, but because of his forearm covers and the wheel, he can't go that far out to the side. So that's a shame. His arms can go up, but not that much because his shoulder pads get in the way and they kind of box his ears a little bit. There does not seem to be any type of ab crunch or anything like that in there. The head, what am I looking at? It can go all the way around. So the posability on this figure is pretty good. The fists do not have any joints to open or close. They don't twist. I mean, it doesn't look like with the transformation, judging by these hinges right next to his fist, that it would be possible for that to happen anyway. So, but he's a cool dude. Brother of Sideswipe. You can kind of, yeah, move the shoulders a little bit, but that's pretty much the posability. Again, much better than the original Sunstreaker. And he stands, as many of them do, but he stands at a total height of about maybe a hair over 5 inches tall. So a nice looking robot. Again, some kibble, but I'm gonna take his guns off just so you can see him again without the guns in a nice 360, and I'm sure I need to remove them for the transformation anyway. But yeah, pretty decent bot. Now, to transform him, which it states there are 19 steps, so that's not too bad. A lot of them are going to be pretty obvious. Oh, one thing I did not mention, his legs. He can swivel them a bit, not all the way, but he can swivel that way and that way, but it doesn't go all the way around. And it looks like you could probably pop his legs off if you wanted to, but who wants to do that? So there he is in his vehicle mode. It's a pretty cool looking car. Kind of Earth-like, but at the same time, kind of not. Actually kind of reminds me of Tron a bit. So now with his weapons, you can actually keep them together apparently and pop them onto the back, though I'm trying to make sure that they line up. Got them in, they pop right in. I do have to say with the transformation, most of the things just snap into place when you have them positioned right and together with a very nice snap sound. So he's snappy and streaky, but you can put them there. You can also apparently take them out, separate, C-Team, separate, and plug them into the sides so he can be shooting on either side. So I like both combinations. I love the fact that he's got 2 guns, so it can be symmetrical. But let's take a little bit more of a look at this mode. Now he does have, and this is on his chest, it's very hard to see, a very small Autobot symbol right there. So he's apparently not that proud to be an Autobot. He does have wheels, so they're hidden inside, which is interesting, which leads me to the roll test. Not the best in rolling, but I've seen worse. It's almost, I can hear the wheels going, but it's also a bit of a slide. Now on the bottom, if you look underneath, you can kind of see, obviously, his legs and such, but it's not too obvious that he's a robot. The top is pretty nice. Back bumper. Obviously, he doesn't really have a license plate, nor does he need one. So a great homage to the original while actually being a new concept, literally. And his transformation is not that different because the legs go into the front of the vehicle. I mean, it's not the fold under stuff, but it's a similar configuration for the transformation. In car mode, he's a hair, and I do mean a hair, over 4.5 inches. So he is a cool looking version of Sunstreaker. I like him. He's pretty cool. The rolling could be better, but it's, you know, not the worst I've seen. And again, when you get things situated and proper, there's generally a snap to let you know. So there he is. I believe he's considered deluxe size. I hope so. So probably about 25 bucks. I'll put some links in the description so you can pick him up at various retailers. Of course, you can also go to your local store or your local toy store, independently owned. Certainly support them. But if you don't have any near you and it's just easier to get it online, links below. But yeah, a fun version of Sunstreaker. I may actually have to do an evolution of this guy at some point, but definitely recommended, and a fun little car. Speaking of fun, yeah, you knew this was coming. I hope you're enjoying these videos and having fun as much as I am having fun showing these toys to you and playing with them on camera. Yes. Oh, if I didn't introduce myself earlier, I'm Captain Kyle. If you're new to the channel, welcome. It's a little late for that, but I'm glad you lasted this long. And if you already know who I am, well, you know who I am. But yeah, definitely recommended. I will be putting him in a place of honor on my shelf. And while you're debating about Sunstreaker, there's actually a review over here of a kind of counterfeit, but G1 style Sunstreaker. And we will see you next time. As always, have fun and good hunting.